Okay, so now that I have my dynamic data coming through, I'm just going to build the page for this. So we're going to have two sections. One section of the page is the image, and the other section is going to have the drinks information. So if we go on to our code, first thing I want to do is create a container for this. So if I create a container and then import this container from the styles, so in the same directory we have styles, and I'm just going to open this also and export const the container, which is equal to style.div. And if we go back, I'm going to have two containers within this container. One is going to be named the image container, and the other is going to be the text container. These are both going to be divs also. And if we go into the styles and repeat the same as the container, so now that we have the details, I'm now going to create within the text container a h1 and a p tag, which I will paste in, and I already have the data already mapped out. So I'm going to get the drink results dot name. So if I go into here, I'm accessing the name called Coffee Frostino and the description, which is here. All the drinks have the same description underneath of this also, so I've just put that in. The image I'm now going to access, so I'm going to use the next image tag again to get the WebP version. So the source of this is going to be the large image URL. So if I copy this and get the drinks result dot large image URL like so, the width of this is equal to 1000 pixels, and so will the height, equal to 1000. And if we close off the image tag and import this also from next image, now if I save, I should see the image and the text. So yeah, we've got that. So now all I need to do is style this. So going into our styles.js, the container is going to have a display of flex as they are side by side. Align items centrally and justify content center also. And if I save, I have them split evenly. For the image container, I'm now going to give this a flex of 0.5, and this is going to be the same for the text container. And now they are evenly split across the page. I'm going to give the image container a height of 100 viewport height, so 100 VH, and it's going to have a background color of the same color as the background of the image. And if I save, so now what I need to do is push this image to the middle here, like this one. So if I give it a display of flex, align items center, and also justify content center, that should push this down to the middle. Now that is done, we need to style the text container. So I'm going to give the text a padding, top and bottom padding of 50 pixels and a left and right padding of 40 pixels, just so it's spaced out and not touching the edges. Now if I save, and I also want to give the background color of white, just like so, I'm going to style the H1 inside the text container and give that a font size of 3 rem. This in here, 3 rem, and the color is going to be this primary color of the Costa website. So I'm just going to copy my props, and it's going to be named primary. Okay, and then finally the p tag to style. So that's the heading complete. So with the p tag, I'm just going to give this a font size of 1 rem and a margin of top and bottom of 20 pixels. So if I now save, so now it's evenly spaced out. Just finally in my container, I'm just going to add a media query. If it goes to a tablet sized device, then we want to change the flex direction to column. So now that is in a column, and if I was to stretch it, it is now in a row. So just the final thing to add now is the routing. So if I go back onto the menu page, I now want to click through to the relevant drink of my choice. So if I go into the menu page index, so now I'm going to in my drink results and where I have my individual drinks being mapped out. So now I am going into my drinks component, and within the drinks component, I'm going to wrap the entire container. So each drink I'm going to wrap with a link tag, and it's going to be linked with a href equal to. So I'm using next link for this. And in the href, I'm going to add template literals in here /menu/ the ID that I am getting passed down from the parent. So selector curly braces ID. And now if I close this and I wrap the other one around the end of the container, we now have the link wrapped around. I now need to import this from next link. And if I now save, we should have the routing all complete. So if I was to filter to a hot chocolate and I want to go onto the chai latte product information page, I would now click. It's pre-building the page, and now that the page is built, it's rendered out the relevant image, the relevant name and description for me. So now if I click back, we now could try the mocha, for example. And now same again, we have the mocha printed, and if I went on /300, for example, as we don't have the relevant path for this, it would get an error. So what we need to do for this is if we go into the menu page on the index and where we are fetching the data in the ID, and instead of fallback blocking, if I put fallback false and save, and now I refresh, we now get a 404 page. If I went onto the Costa website and typed in some random string and pressed enter, we will now get a custom 404 page. So in the next video, we're going to build out the custom 404 page.